Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another exciting edition of the Alpha Series number 16. I'm your host, Pastor, and today we have two amazing players here battling it out for their chance to be crowned the champion. We've got Patience, we've got Armani, and both of them are already good to go. We're heading into the lobby for game number 1 on Zen LE. And just remember, guys, this is a best of 9 show match. And Kozan coming in with the 9-month resub tweet to start things off. That is a best way to get things started here. I'm actually going to adjust my headset so that it's not going to kill me in the back. But, you know, this is going to be an exciting match. I know you guys are really, really looking forward to this one. So let's just hop right into it. Spawning down here in the bottom, representing Africa TV, he's Armani. And his opponent up here in the top, you know him, you love him. He is our Red Protoss, Patience. So, for everybody wondering about what is going on here today, this is a best of 9 show match between these two ladies and gentlemen, and what essentially is going to happen here is, with that best of 9, it's going to be my map choice first, which I chose Zen LE, and then it is going to be the loser pick. What this allows the players to do is it allows them to kind of have a little bit of strategy in terms of those losses. So if they do lose, they can kind of get their way back into it. They can have a just kind of that little small way. Make sure everything go back in their favor. I'm also going to say that I'm a little bit loud here, so I'm just going to turn myself down so that you guys don't hear any terrible clipping. But to start things off, it looks like we're going to have some pretty relatively normal play here. We've got the pool and the hatchery going down for Armani. Not doing, he's not doing anything too crazy just yet, but we'll have to see when he decides to throw down that third base, because if he doesn't throw that down, we're in for a treat. Right now, Patience already has the starts of a really good wall off, so he's not going to be caught too off guard by what is to come here. Adept's coming out, so that kind of tells me that we might be seeing Stargate play. Sometimes Adepts can tell you that there is Stargate play, and that's kind of just my prediction for this. And we'll have to see if it does indeed come true. Armani able to get a pretty good scat out of the main base. Sees that nothing has really been thrown down right now. Behind that, we do have double gateways on the production tab, so that that is a bit aggressive here out of Patience, possibly to try and end this game very early. As we even have a forge coming out for those faster upgrades. Yep, and they're just letting you guys know in chat as well. If you want to support this event even more, check out the Matcherino page to add AXCOM109. That'll get you a free 50 cents added to the prize pool. These guys appreciate it, and we all appreciate it here at the Alpha X community. Armani, he doesn't appreciate that third base going down. However, he's trying to kind of get a little bit of harassment done there. On his side of the map, he's just kind of slowly building up his worker count. He's currently 3 workers behind, which is interesting because he's actually halted all worker production. So you guys know what that means. This third base is actually a fake third. Already coming out with the big plays right now. Will Patience catch wind of this? Right now, he is noting that the lair's gone down, but he hasn't scouted that third base out again. That is such an important tell here to see that to see if there are no drones on the third base. But this is going to be pretty big right now. Patience only has these force field boys, whatever they're called, sentries. Probably should look at the bottom of the screen because it does tell you what they are, but so far he has not caught wind of any of this, even throwing down some very aggressive gateways in the front. I think he just finally now got the scout off for this, and it's currently 50 army supply to 24. The Warpins coming in as fast as they can, but they're actually going to get picked off before they even go down here. I think Patience overextending a little bit, and Armani coming away with a clean win. An excellent start to this best of 9 series today. That was very clean, and unfortunately Patience did not get the one scout off he needed. He wasn't paying attention to the third base, and in doing so, he caused himself a little bit of issue. Now it is going to be his map choice, so we'll have to see what he decides to pick. And he's going to go with Golden Wall, actually. So, he pop this up. And we're getting this. We are going to get these guys into game number 2. Yeah, honestly, I agree with you on employment in the chat because Golden Wall is such an interesting map this early on in the series. There are no repeats for the first 7, so he might just be looking to get it out of the way before Armani can really build up a win count. It's really an interesting choice, and I think you guys can agree because we are going to hop right into this game, spawning in the bottom position. It is Patience. And his opponent in the bottom left, he is Armani. No word on if Giorgio is going to be joining us either. So as you guys have already noticed that the layout of this map is very interesting. You have this location right here, which does open up a very nice defensible third base position. But on this flip side of that, you also really open yourself up to some very dangerous harassment if you do indeed open that position. Now, so far, Armani's not really doing anything too crazy. He's just going to be getting that simple hatchery before pool, and you know, I don't think Armani will take advantage of that. I think it would be really cool though if he does take that as a third base location, because not only can he get some amazing creep spread over to his opponent's base, but he can also just have a very fast rally point to utilize. We will have to see as this game is just now getting underway, essentially. Nice little Overlord Scout. And he will be going for that Stalker first. The thing about Stalker is it's a bit more gas intensive. You need a little bit more gas than the Adept, and you can't really send it across the map. So, looking at it, Patience just trying to block that third base, but that's just going to force Armani to take this much more aggressive third in the front. And actually, we're going to see a big swell of Lings come out here. Speed about halfway complete. This is interesting. Armani, he's looking to end these games very early already. Patience may have some trouble dealing with this. Although right now he does have a wall off. He's just got to scout out that this is coming. Does he have a sentry? He does, so he can hallucinate here, but it all depends because he does need that energy for a force field. No Baneling Nest, so this is just going to be pure Ling, and already the attack has begun. Shield battery is being thrown down in the back. The force field is going to save that Stalker from certain doom. And now it just comes down to how well can Patience wall off. So far, he's already got the secondary wall down. He's not going to really lose too much here. The Ling's starting to break through on one side, but it's not going to be enough to essentially break this position here. He's got to decide very soon whether he wants to continue this attack or not. He's mining from this location, getting a really nice mineral boost here. If we took a look at that income advantage, it's solely in Patience's favor right now, but that's starting to swing towards Armani the longer that goes on. Now, like, Patience is stuck in his base for the time being. The Warp Prism is going to be coming out, and that's going to really open things up for him. Keep in mind that Armani still has a pretty big army. So he is going to be able to kind of deal with this, but we'll have to see because Patience still is very good with his micro, especially with that Warp Prism. And with Resonating Glaives, those Lings might not be long for this world, even opening up this location so that he can get behind. Great Warp Prism micro so far. Just focusing the fire away from the weakened ones. He's going to save all 3 of those weak ones. And now... Now, you know, we see a big swell of Lings once again, but you need some Roaches. You need something that's going to tank a little bit more, as this Adept count is starting to get very high. And the Blinks have begun already. That Queen taking some big shots, and these Adepts actually in the perfect location to fight these Lings. They're starting to get taken out, but that Ling count is gone. No Roaches on the way either, even though he does have the Roach Den, and before they even get out, that's actually just gonna tap out. GG. So we got a series on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Armani tried to finish things a bit too early, and he was rebuffed. And we are going to be going with Eternal Empire for our next one. Now, one of the things I love that they added is the lobby link command. So that I can just spam that in the chat rather than have to find everyone. But anyway, we're going to be hopping into Eternal Empire. This one, I think this one warrants a more macro-oriented style. And it's crazy how many times we do see this map go to the late game. This is kind of the map you play. Want to slow down the series a little bit. You want to make sure that you get your head right. You're thinking, and yeah, it's just a really good kind of reset map for these two players. So spawning up in the top right, talking about reset, he is Armani. Opponent down here in the bottom. Patience. The one thing we've really noted out of Armani's playstyle right now in this series so far is that he is going for the aggressive styles, but he's doing a very good job of essentially hiding it. He's not going for the crazy fast Ling all-ins. He's getting up to that 3 base and then trying to attack. Kind of using that 3rd base as essentially a feint, even though he was mining off the last one. Wasn't really mining it super efficiently, only 7 workers. But still, I think on this one, like I was saying, it's a little bit easier to take the maps. It's a lot easier to play macro on this one just because you do have more defensible 3rd bases. You do have the gas geyser down here, but even then, it's still a relatively easy base to take. And I think Armani might might do well in kind of just slowing the series down a little bit, getting himself a more macro-oriented win, and kind of just pushing Patience back in terms of that map count that way. But here we go, Armani going to be taking that third base, and the probe getting forced away, as once again we're going to see that Twilight Council and Adept. Yes, there we go. It's once again going to be Adept Glaive build here for Patience. And we saw what happens. The Adept Glaive build is one of those builds that it can be very powerful if unscouted, if it goes unscouted. And the big thing is, like in that last one, Armani did not scout it out before it was too late, because it can just absolutely snowball quite heavily if you're not careful as the Zerg. One moment, guys. I got to take my headset off and fix something. But okay. This time, though, Armani's going to have a little bit of a better response as he's got the Roach Warren down. But look at this double Stargate play coming off the back. So while this is a Resonating Glaives build, it's also going to, going to be a very fast transition here to kind of catch the Roach Warren off guard. As you know, Roaches, they're very strong versus Adepts, but they don't shoot up. No War Prism behind this either. So he's just going to force a big reaction out of Armani. Look at that. He's even got all the queens down here to shoot down the non-existent Warp Prism. And now he can just rotate around with these Adepts in a way that essentially means that Armani needs to stay back. Because of that, look, even the third base is not going to be saturated for a bit. Armani going to be coming out, trying to pick off some of those Adepts, just kind of make it a little bit less powerful. But the third base actually going to get blocked as well. Now this is going to be a big sign here for Armani that something's up. He sees the double Phoenix, he sees the double Stargate even. So now he is essentially going to have to rotate around and figure out what he needs to do to counter this. As that Phoenix count starts to rise, it's going to be difficult to kind of deal with it with just pure Stark, Core Crawler, and Queen. Going to need those Hydralisks, and he already has the Den going down here, but here we go. Trying to get a few cheeky pickoffs on the Overlord. No transfuses, so that will supply up block Armani for just a second. And this is actually going to force Armani, it looks like, to move out. He wants to kind of hit before that Phoenix count gets too large and his Roaches just start getting picked off. They're pretty tanky, but they still are very susceptible to the Phoenix, and that is actually going to force him to back on out of there. He needs that Hydra support, and unfortunately for him as well, with Hydralisks, a lot of the time you want to fight with them on creep. So this does mean you have to play it a little bit more defensive than you normally would. But already Patience getting a lot of good damage done with these. Already 5 workers going down. Armani's worker count isn't as strong as it usually is here. Just getting another round of 10. That's essentially just going to replace all the workers he's lost. I love how he's hallucinating Phoenix for the scout, even though he has real Phoenix just sitting right up here. But Patience, one step ahead of him again, really dictating the pace of this game. Got the Colossus coming out, extended thermal lance, and a big gateway explosion. So every single time that Armani is building the perfect counter to what he's going for, he's going straight into the next stage, the next big thing. Even looking to put on some light pressure here, just moving his forces out on the map, making sure that the creep isn't going to be coming too far forward. Looks like Armani's starting to want to attack here. We've got the Baneling Nest done as well, so he will be adding in some very powerful Baneling shots to this. But you can see he's just pushing the creep forward with this. He's not going too far off of creep, and instead he's just kind of guarding this creep highway. This is a nice position here. The sentry's in the back, got plenty of energy to force field this position. And Armani going for the full 360 surround. He gets the links in the back, attack a little bit quicker. But a couple Banelings connect, not the best connections for him right now. And in fact, those sentries doing a great job of keeping those units back. Hydros out of range. Phoenix gonna pick off what they can. He dips up here, not doing too much, but actually Armani gets taken down a notch there. Keep in mind though, he does have Hive, and he's got lurkers on the way as well. So will Patience be able to deal with that with this composition? It's gonna be I'm not gonna lie to you, it's gonna be pretty difficult. This is a very close range army here. The Immortals in the back, pretty much the only thing that deals a significant amount of damage, but he does have this big window where he can push in with a very strong supply. If we take a look at that army supply, 119 to 96. The problem is he does need to fight on creep, and you can see he doesn't have any detection with this. So he can't push too far on the creep or risk getting taken out. More Banelings being morphed here. No lurkers just yet, and I think he just can't afford essentially to get them out there. He needs everything in the front. The force field's doing good, but a couple of lings sneak through. And it's not going to be enough just yet. That War Prism under fire, but so far Patience taking a very good trade here. Armani just setting up the concave, but not able to essentially push into this as Patience. Just kind of baiting him forward off of creep, losing the Immortal there, and actually some big Baneling connections going down now. Takes out quite a few of the Stalkers in front. A little bit of an overextension there, but you still have those beefy units in the back punching out the AoE damage. Banelings rolling forward. They're going to get taken out before they even touch this army. A few do get through, but he's relying on these Banelings. He does have the upgrades for lurkers finishing up. I feel like if he would have had those lurkers a little bit sooner, But then he might be able to clean this up, but now his forces are very segmented. Reinforcements as well coming in. Army supply 50 ahead for Patience. And it looks like Patience starting to take a very commanding lead of this game and might even be able to close it out. Yeah, Armani is essentially broke here. Not able to morph in those lurkers anymore. It's just pure Ling Bane for him right now. Now there are no more sentries, so he's actually going to start getting some good connections on those Colossus, but the spread, you can spread pretty well here, but that's just not going to be enough. Patience takes game number 3. Now, with that being said, guys, I've got a very important question to ask you. What are you drinking right now? Well, whatever it is, stop, because if it isn't G Fuel, it isn't worth drinking. G Fuel provides the energy and power that is necessary for those longer gaming sessions, because as you guys know, gaming is a marathon, not just a sprint. You can check them out at the Matcherino page, complete some of their sponsor quests, and in doing so, you add money to the prize pool. And every little bit helps, guys. G Fuel. Refreshing. Oh, unemployment. I'm rocking the sour cherry right now too, which is hilarious. Which I probably shouldn't be drinking something sour during a cast. It makes my throat hurt a little. But it's really good. I really enjoyed G Fuel actually. It really helps gives us some energy during these longer series. All right, we got the ready from Patience. And we actually have Armani requesting a pause. So, while he does that, I'm actually going to bring you guys over to our Matcherino page if you want to check this out. So this is for the event 29452, and as you can see, there's a lot of cool things that you can do if you come over here. These are the G Fuel quests. And you can follow those to add some money to the prize pool. You can also check out the marketplace here. $3 for a replay pack. You can buy a jersey. And as you can see, even those add a little bit of money to the prize pool. So check out this page. And if you want to contribute some money to it, you type in the code APS. Code. Oh. And I gotta get out of that page. Find the code actually. Okay, there we go. Thank you guys. So going back to that page, you type in the code, and you can contribute to the prize pool. That adds 50 cents. You can add your own money as well, but that just increases it, and really helps out with events like this. As you guys know, Alpha X has been putting on some amazing content, but you know what? Speaking of good content, you guys are here for these guys. So let's check them out. Spawning in the top position, it is Armani. As opponent, down here in the bottom, he is Patience. And yes, this is indeed live. It's very early in the morning, but that is how we bring you the best StarCraft. Early in the morning to late in the afternoon, and sometimes even beyond that. Esports never sleeps. And if you are just joining us in the previous game, Armani did try to go for a bit of a later gameplay, playing to the map Golden Wall. Was rebuffed, but in this game he still has quite a bit of chances to get back into it in this best of 9. So I lost my train of thought there. Yeah, a little bit of a longer series with that best of 9, so still a lot of chances for Armani to bring it back. Once again, we're going to be seeing that Adept coming out, and will it be Stargate play? Again is the question. As I ask, it is not. Although we did see this last time with that Resonating Glaives go straight into Phoenix behind it, so there is still a chance that we're going to be seeing a lot of Phoenix, a lot of Stargate play. Time will tell. There we go. Once again, we see that Resonating Glaive. He is going to go for a Robo facility behind it, and that is something that can lead to another all-in style of play. We'll have to see how many gateways he decides to throw down on the back of this, but patience. He's been using these aggressive early maneuvers to really set the pace of these games. Basically, he's making Armani have to be a reactionary player in order to deal with this. This time, however, I think Armani has gotten a pretty good look at his opponent's base. Let me actually see. Has he seen... Okay, so he actually hasn't seen the Robo facility. He needs to see that, because that will tell him that his Roach Warren is a good choice and that he can continue on with his build. Resonating Glaives almost finished up, as well as those extra gateways. You know, honestly, I don't think Armani's going to be too aggressive with this. And yeah, there we go. A win whenever, do whatever, Dark Shrine. And I actually really love this combination here, because it's going to look essentially just like an Adept all-in, but then you just mix in the DTs in the middle of it, and your opponent gets caught off of guard. Now, patience. He is going to get rebuffed here. The Adept's going to force those Roaches to come back home to defend, but he has no intention of going up there. War Prism is dancing around here. I'm going to start picking down the Queen. And now Armani's going to have to essentially divvy up his forces a bit and do so efficiently in order to deal with this slight aggression. Steps going forward once again, but here we go. The first DT's being warped in. There is detection, so Armani with the scouting sense of a genius. There's no third base, however, so that's a big thing for Patience. He might want to be taking that soon. Otherwise he's going to fall behind in terms of that economy. There we go. He throws it down. And I think behind this, he can still put on quite a bit of pressure. Got the Immortals being pumped out one at a time. And actually, Armani losing in Overlord. That's going to supply block him pretty heavily here. Setting up for the double prong. Fly right into the Spore Crawler. Patience is paying attention, however, so he's not going to take too much damage on that. The Queen moving forward to attack the Prism, but that does get taken down. Losing a Queen to start things off. The Adepts going to be shading towards the natural. I think they're going to have to finish if they want to survive, but unfortunately they hop right into the Roach Den and to get taken out. Bit of a misstep there for Patience, but he still has the Archons to kind of take out some things. You know, he gets the Overlord. That's always a nice little pick off. That's 100 minerals down the tube. But behind all of this, Patience once again just going to be out. Look at that army supply. Currently in Armani's favor, but they are some very high tier units from Patience, and 4 Immortals are very good versus Roaches. Good Concave is being set up near the 4th. The Adepts are just going to move towards that third base, trying to force Armani to give up this position. Armani, you got to be careful going around that ramp because there are enough force fields to zone you out. So far, the Ravager Biles are okay. They're forcing Patience back. The force fields, though, are pretty good. There are enough files to deal with it, however, and I think Patience may have overstayed his welcome a little bit. There's still quite a few Roaches, 18 more on the production tab as well. And Armani is currently 30 army supply up. The Biles actually hitting one of the sentries. And at first, Armani, he had a fantastic engagement. Unfortunately, he's just started going into those force fields, and now Patience with the reinforcements starting to clean things up. The Immortals, though, have to be careful. You don't want to overextend with those. He needs the War Prism to micro this a little bit more. And look at that. Right now, he is just kind of baiting Armani off the creep. The Adepts coming in for support. This is a pretty even engagement. It's really solid out of both players. Patience army Patience supply count, however, very low. I don't think he had any intention of macroing out of this. I think he is all in right now. Adepts shading on forward, picking off the Ravagers. And there's not that much left for Armani. This is such a low army. This is such a low supply game. Patience, however, deals a very nice blow. Losing the 4th base is Armani. He still has quite a few Roaches, however, and +2 attack is on the way. Now these Roaches are just going to hit a lot harder. The War Prism is going to be required. The Adept's going to come in, try and do what damage they can. The Roaches starting to rebuff this. Needs to focus down on some of those drones, I feel. But behind this, still no workers on the production tab for either side. Okay, a worker for one side. Now it's Armani's turn. He wants to send some counter damage Patience's way. The Adept's gonna get taken out. I don't think they even got a single kill there, actually. The Warpism gonna be getting a scat out of this army. The Adept's trying to blink right on top of the Ravagers, but that Ravager count is so high. I think force fields are going to be the only way you survive this for the time being. Patience, you need some units, man. You need some good units. And actually, I really like this. Actually, I don't like that as much because that is a big chunk of his army here that is now gone. Feel better. Out of energy, the third base completely under fire. The Adepts having to come home. And he will push this back for right now, but taking some huge vials while also getting quite a few kills in the natural. So Patience, while Armani gets rebuffed at the third base, Patience's mineral line is under fire, even focus firing down the weakened ones. And 25 workers going down here. Patience taking that huge blow, and I think he may be tapping out here in a bit because that immortal count is now just down to this guy. There we have it. Armani bringing the series back to a tie. I tell you, these guys are looking for the long one. You guys are so anxious to get this started. Waiting on one more Go-Go, and Go-Go has been tapped in, so let's keep this action rolling on Nightshade. Now, I'm very interested to see what Patience has planned for this map. This is his choice. Click on that. Hotkey actually works this time. Without further ado, guys, spawning up here in the top position, he is our blue Zerg player, Armani. The opponent down here, repping the red team, he is Patience. Now, Nightshade is one of those maps where you either see the longest macro games or the shortest easy games. That's anyway in my experience. So we'll have to see if we're going to see the same here, because we do have a forge. Oh my gosh, Patience, you madman. I love how Armani is just keeping his overlord right here just to make sure that he doesn't get too caught out for this. But Patience does an amazing wall off here. This is absolutely insane. And now you know, if Patience wanted to, he could actually block off this location and make it so that these guys can't return to work. But the cannons are actually in a pretty good position. They're not going to get taken out before they go on. And Patience. Oh my gosh, you absolute madman. Oh no, the cannons actually don't have energy just yet. Now they do, but one will get taken out maybe. Oh no. This is not looking good for Armani right now. The creep doesn't spread in time. The Ling's going to come down here trying to defend this. Armani really wants to keep this location alive. Spinecrawler on the way to defend. And he will be able to take out the one more cannon, maybe getting this third one here. But 8 workers have already gone down at a pivotal moment in the game. That Spinecrawler just now completing. Armani down to 7 supply, and the Cybernetics core is on the way. I think Armani is going to possibly tap out here very soon. Yeah, he's going to lose the Spinecrawler as well. And yeah, there you go. Patience taking a very cheeky game number 5. That is the first time I've seen a cannon rush in a while. I love cannon rushes when I'm not facing them. So we got 2 maps left: Purity and Industry or Simulacron. Which will be Armani's choice? Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting, the maps that are left. Usually in these kind of series, you see Simulacrum a lot earlier on, I feel. And speaking of the devil, I'd like to remind you guys that we do have a Naturino page for this, so check that on out. Because what that will allow you to do is allow you to add some free money to the prize pool. You can also check out some of the awesome stuff that's going on. And remember, there is so much good content coming out today from Alpha X. They've got the Junior Cup on later, and you know, just a lot of fun events coming up as well. I love it because like I opened the lobby to them. I just put the lobby link in, and they instantly go in. Oh yeah, and like to tell you that at 9 p.m. KST, we're actually going to have the Alpha X Code CD Cynical Death Edition, Group B. That is going to be players. That is going to be players like Dream, Raynor, Stats, and Trap. That's at 9 p.m. KST, 2 p.m. CEST. I don't know what that is if you're in the US or NA, but that is going to be an epic one. And you know what? Speaking about epic things, let's go into this next big game. Spawning in the bottom position here, it is Armani. His opponent at the top taking a cheeky win and looking to extend his lead. He is Patience. Yes, I can, Sushi. But yeah, anyway, we already have a much more standard opening from you guys so far. Nothing too crazy. We're gonna be popping out just yet. Patience. You know, he did it once, but you don't want to really overdo it, especially not with things like cannon rushes with that kind of aggression, because once a Zerg kind of feels that you're a little bit cheesy, they're going to swarm you essentially as quickly as possible. But yeah, Armani choosing actually the safer of the 3 base locations. It's a little bit farther away, but it's also farther back from your opponent. We have this low ground location if you're trying to kind of push the creep faster, get to that point where you're trying to hit your opponent quickly. But once again, we're going to see Patience going back to the Twilight Council, where he's seen such success in this series already. Question is, yeah, that was kind of my question. What is he going to follow that up with? He's been very fast to kind of show his tech behind it. Okay, there's the Overlord. Surprised he didn't put it at the normal peeping position there. Oh, whatever his reason for not doing that. Oh no, this is... Am I seeing things here? Okay. Oh, they were hallucinations. I just thought that was a bug. Oh my gosh, Patience, you madman. That was actually so epic. Because now Armani's going to respond to this, thinking that it's going to be that it's going to be a resonating glaze, but then the DTs are actually in there. Luckily for Armani, he does have those spore crawlers down nice and early, just being safe about it. But the question is, will Armani believe his eyes when 2 actual adepts show up? Sushi, tricking me is like not a hard thing to do. I get tricked all of the time. But looking at this, the first DTs are going to be warping in. They have not tricked Armani just yet here. He's got to be careful with those. You want them for adepts later on. But already, just a good job of keeping that Warper Zone alive. You got to be careful, though, not to get that too low. Otherwise, your follow-up is not going to be as powerful. Then we got the 3rd base going down behind it. Going to be getting those upgrades soon as well. Relatively even game here. If we take a look at that income, it was pretty heavy in Patience's favor, but now starting to swing towards Armani. And then if we take a look at the army size, we got that little bump from building the Archons and such, as well as the safety roaches. Banelings is the next choice here. The drone count going to be rising up to a very healthy 70. And we'll have to see how much further he goes beyond that. cleaning up some of the creep as well, which I like. These Archons getting some utility out there. Simulacrum is a much bigger map than the previous ones. So what that means is you do really rely on that creep highway, pushing that back, and it's going to really force Armani to keep his units forward. To defend that creep, and so far not able to do so. That's pushed back pretty far. Where are the queens, actually? I don't know, but we do have the Warp Prism coming in. The Archon's getting some cheap shots off on those Ravagers. Yeah, I'm really liking it. You know, it's slowed down quite a bit. The Phoenixes are obviously fake. I always gotta make sure that we don't miss the Archons going around. But anyway, going back to these armies, they're growing quite significantly here, and we're looking to be on a collision course. Armani currently behind in the army count here. He's got a lot of Banelings. And what I worry about is, will he have enough Ravagers to kind of allow those Banelings to force their way through? You have quite a few almost full energy sentries back here, so you really are going to rely on those Ravager Biles to make things work here. Almost maxed out, so we may be seeing him move out soon. Only just now respreading the creep, I think, so that's going to be a little bit more difficult to reinforce. Trying to catch the obs, but Patience paying attention, being very patient with it. And Armani setting up for the surround. Stalkers on the way to deal with the Roaches and Ravagers in the back. Trying to fight on the ramp is Patience, but Armani not taking the bait just yet. Fourth base gonna be under fire. Is going to be taking out a lot of the energy sentries. Starting to run low on it. Only one force field left. 7 workers going down. So Armani just going to back off. I think he's okay with that damage. I probably wanted to get a little bit more done, but now he can kind of safely go up to that hive, and even going to get the Spire behind it. So we might be seeing Broodlords as his next choice. Gonna get caught out here. Little Baneling run by gets scouted out by Patience, so both of these guys' run by is gonna get scouted. Yeah, Hive is about to complete the Baneling run by. Actually gets in. Gets a couple of workers, but not really enough. And the Archon's going to be doing some damage around the 5th base. So right now, it's Patience's turn to respond to the aggression here. He's got that sentry energy back. He didn't really lose them too much. And the whole army is over here dealing with it. Oh no, the Biles actually taking out the Warp Prism and the Archons. So now what's going to happen is Armani is going to be faking that he's going into a Mutalisk transition, and then going to be going into Broodlords behind that. But Patience already has a small run over by the 5th base, forcing Armani to respond to that with his entire army. The upgrades actually getting denied. That is huge, as Patience will have that upgrade advantage. The Banelings getting knocked out before they can really do any damage, and the army count of Patience is just starting to skyrocket here. The 4th base under fire, and Armani is just going to sacrifice this location. You know, he wanted to go after Broodlords, but unable to do so. Now he's pretty much fighting with not a full deck. Although he gets some very nice Baneling connections there. Will they be enough? Banelings are a one-time use unit. I don't think it's going to be enough. Patience pushing his way through to match point in this series. GG is called. What an exciting turn of events here. Patience starting to really get things going. And 1 second, guys. I got something I would like to show you all. Obviously, we here at Alpha X don't just like to do one thing a day. We like to do more things a day. So if you take a look at this, this is what's going to be going on in about 2-ish hours. And no, I made the wrong lobby. But yep, just check this out. This is the Alpha X Code CD Cynical Death version. Today we will have Group B. Like I said, that will be in about roughly 2-ish hours. So check that out when you can, and also check out our sponsor, G-Fuel. G-Fuel brings you the power and energy you need for those long gaming sessions, and it is quite frankly a very delicious drink. And by doing so, and by checking them out at the Match Arena page, you can also help the prize pool out and add a little bit money that way. Now, these players did say that they are ready to go, so we'll be getting this game underway. But while they're getting that underway, check out G Fuel, complete the quests, and quite frankly, just have an amazing time. Also, don't forget that we do have that code Alpha XCOM 109. And that'll add 50 cents to the prize pool as well. Just so many ways to support. Like, there is almost no excuse for not being able to support, because there are so many amazing ways that you can do your part and really add to the prize pool. Now, speaking of prizes, these guys are going to be going for those prizes. Spawning over here in the bottom right position, he is Armani. Looking to fight his way back. He needs to win the next 3 in order to get first prize against this guy up here in the top, the red Protoss, Patient. Now, if there's ever a map for Armani to begin his comeback on, it's going to be this one. The rush distance, pretty short between 2 bases. So it can lead to some very aggressive play here. And Patience has to be wary of that. He has to be scouting out for it. Already he's going to go into the main base and see that he is indeed safe from an early pool. But will that be enough for him? Will he come back in a couple minutes, try and deny the 3rd base, and just try and be a nuisance? Who is to know? Armani actually going to be going for a very quick 3rd base, a very far away 3rd base. Will he get it down in time? It does not look like it. So now the first little bit of pressure going on. Patience just trying to slow down Armani's build in any way that he can. And actually, Patience scouting out that that drone did indeed not go for the third base. So that's going to be raising some alarm bells possibly for Patience. Yeah, look at that. He's actually going to be going towards that gold base in the bottom position of the map, just making sure that that was not taken. Now it feels a little bit safer knowing that there is no droniness there. But now we do have the third base down. Question is it a fake? We saw in game number 1 that Armani had a third base that he had no intention of keeping. Yeah, once again, we're going to see Twilight Council coming down. Now, the question is, what kind of shenanigans are we going to see from Patience out of that? The past couple of times, he has actually been going for DTs off the back of the Twilight Council. And that may indeed be the case once again. Actually, no, it is going to be Glaives. But there is still the option for DTs, as we saw in one of the games. He did transition into them. But Armani, once again, getting that early Roach Warren. Very fast third base from Patience. Will it pay off is the big question. Obviously, it's a little bit more difficult to scout out because you're not really going to be sending overlords in that direction anytime soon. But he did get a scout out that the wall was completely full, so that kind of makes him think, what's going to be coming over? Alright, we got the roaches on the way. The lair tech is going to be complete. Armani, I think he'll be pretty safe versus this. He did get a very big head start on his defense. First couple of decks are going to be coming out. They're not going to have glaives for this first jump in. Actually, just going to cancel that as the Lings going to start trying to pick them off. Now behind this, we are going to be seeing the Immortal count start to rise. Patience actually going up to that Gateway explosion off the back of this economy. Just take a look at that income. Doing nothing but rising, and this still hasn't been scattered out. So Armani not going to be able to take advantage of that far location. Actually, losing the Overlord there is going to supply block him. So this is something I love here out of Armani. He's changing things up a bit. This is the first time we've seen the early Spire go down. So getting Mutalisks out on the field would be really cool. Keep in mind there are the inhibitor zones that are going to make things pretty slow here, just like this War Prism that tried to get in and do some damage. But no, everything's relatively even here for both sides. Patience banking up a lot of minerals, though. He just can't spend them fast enough. I want to see how this attack goes. This could set the pace for the rest of the game. You know, Armani, he did he actually cancel this fire? No, he still has it. I believe it was, yes, it was scouted out. So might not be using it for that reason alone. But before Patience can really move out with this force, it looks like Armani is just going to be pushing forward that creep. And yeah, overall Patience, he's starting to mine out that location down there, so he's going to have to get those probes home soon. As soon as that's gone. That was just a Phoenix, a fake Phoenix. But yeah, in this game, Armani's being very patient, just pushing forward that creep highway. The Mutalisks trying to get some work done here, but the Stalkers are in position, the inhibitor zones, making it difficult for them to go towards that main base. Already going 5 workers going down, so the Muta's starting to get some work done. There are cannons in position, but Patience is going to be moving out with this force. Currently roughly even army supplies. Yeah, there we go. He did scout that out eventually, but will it be enough? Will it be enough? He's had that location for quite a bit of time, and Patience for the is moving on the creep towards the third base. Again, those Mulas jumping in are going to be getting some more work done, but that's just going to prompt Patience to move on in. The sentries actually right below the biles. A couple of good biles hit off, but there aren't enough to break the force fields just yet. Armani just trying to kind of bait him in here. 22 workers going down as that gold base is finally cleaned up. But is there enough army at home to defend this? He's currently stuck just making lings. And Patience just rotating around to the fourth base as well. Armani starting to lose that army supply count very heavily. As the force fields have done their job, the fourth base is under fire, and he's going to forfeit that location. The Bailey's just now starting to get some good hits off, but I don't think it's enough. Currently half the army supply, even those biles, not going to be able to clean things up as the Bailey's. They're still getting okay connections, but they're not getting the kills that they need. They're a one-time use unit, and I think Patience may have pushed his way through to a victory. GG. Patience is your your Alpha Series 16 champion. He did it in 7, which was very amazing. All right. That's up for y'all. But that does mean Patience does take the lion's share of the win. And yeah, remember guys, you still have quite a bit of time to add to the prize pool. We still got some Matcherino codes. We still got those Matcherino codes. And yeah, don't forget, in a couple hours, we do have Stage 2 Group B coming on down. That's at 9 p.m. KST with these fine gentlemen that you see. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Passer. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. Once again, I'd like to thank our sponsors, G Fuel, and the fine folks over at Alpha X for putting on this amazing tournament. I've been Passer. You can find me down below. That's my Twitter handle. And yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Congratulations to Patience. And we will see you at the next big event. Peace out, guys.